welcome to my channel. I hope you're having a good day. Today I wanted to talk about something that I didn't really acknowledge until recently, and that is environmental guilt. I definitely struggle with this as someone who cares about the environment and wants to solve all the environmental issues. It's definitely real, and I wanted to make this video just to discuss it, talk about it, and share some ways that I think are really good ways to deal with environmental guilt. Guilt is an emotion that comes when we know we are doing something bad, but we do it anyways. Some guilt is a good thing. It drives us to make better decisions and to do the right thing. And environmental guilt is not false guilt. It's there for a reason. Humanity has a lot of things that it should be guilty about. But there's a point where it is too much and it is doing more harm than good. And environmental guilt is tricky because it's not at a personal level like most guilt is, but a community level. The world we live in makes it difficult to make those good decisions. From just being stuck in our old ways, all the infrastructure and systems set up, and all the advertisements everywhere we go, making new products look so enticing. Ironically, it's as if our man-made environment is making it harder for us to help our natural environment. I think this guilt is a result of becoming aware of how all of the things in our luxury life is made. I think the biggest problem in regards to the environment is summed up in the phrase, out of sight, out of mind. For the first time since before the industrial age, people are now aware of how their products are made and all the negative impacts it has on the environment. When you don't know how something is made or how it impacts the environment, and when you feel like you have no control over how it is made, then it's kind of understandable why people don't waste their time worrying about it. But now, a lot more people have a lot more information and knowledge about our impact, and people see all of the proven science of global warming and sea level rise and animal extinctions and dying coral reefs. And people have had enough and want to do something about it. People have started their own businesses when they don't see a sustainable option in a certain market. People have changed their consumerism habits. And this has all been driven by guilt. Guilt created from the awareness. But all this new knowledge is oftentimes more overwhelming than empowering. And if you're anything like me and want to solve every problem this planet faces, then it can all sometimes seem so hopeless and despairing. And with the environmental movement also came false information, exaggerated hazards, and greenwashing of companies, which led to some doubt and distrust. And being overwhelmed is inevitably paralyzing. If you experience environmental guilt like I do, then I wanted to share 5 tips that can really help deal with this feeling. Number 1, know that just being aware of environmental problems and educating yourself and having an open mind is the biggest thing you can do and the best thing you can do. Because when you have this knowledge and you're aware, it's inevitably and subconsciously put into your daily activities. So you may not choose to use the straw the waitress gives you subconsciously, or you just may choose a product that is better than for the environment naturally, because you know all these things and you're educated. When you're educated, it's also great for having discussions with people, and sharing that knowledge is huge too. So just being aware and knowing things is sometimes enough, and it's doing a lot more than you think. Number 2 is to just do what you can. You can't be perfect. There's going to be times when you're creating waste and you're emitting fossil fuels. In this world, people love to put labels on things and labels on people and categorize people. I think it's just human nature. I like to do it myself, and the problem with that is people think that it's all or nothing. That you're either vegan or you're not. You're either zero waste or you're not. And we think that way because we're afraid that if we're not 100% something, some label, yet we advocate for it and we care about it, we're afraid that people will criticize us and mock us if we step out of that label. For instance, I'm not a complete vegetarian, but I only eat chicken and fish. I do that because beef and pork have a much larger impact to the environment than chicken and fish do. So I chose to eliminate those from my diet. But I felt that going completely vegetarian was too much for me at this point in my life, and I wanted to do what I could. And sometimes when I'm in situations like public places and I just want to eat a vegetarian meal, I don't want meat in my meal, then, or beef or pork, then I'll just tell people I'm vegetarian, like the waitress. Sometimes in conversation and in some situations, it's just easier to say you're vegetarian. But then I'm also afraid to, because if someone sees me eating chicken or fish later, they will jump to criticize me and police me for not being within that label. So that's a problem that I have with our all or nothing mentality. It's just do what you can. Like, if I want to eat vegan meals sometimes, then that's better than not. But I don't think it's logical right now or easy for me to be completely vegan. I think that's dangerous when people think that they have to be 100% something, when that's not the case. Every little thing makes an impact and every little thing helps. So do what you can and don't worry about being inside a specific box, and don't worry about people criticizing you, because they're just projecting. They're just showing, they're trying to point out hypocrisy, but it's not hypocrisy. They're trying to justify their actions. They're trying to justify their lifestyle by saying, don't make me feel guilty for eating animal products because look, you just did a little bit too. It's an insecurity that they're projecting. Number 3 kind of goes along with the last point, but just take baby steps. Don't feel like you need to completely change your life or completely go all in to something. Take baby steps. If it's literally just not buying water bottles anymore, disposable water bottles, that's great. If it's just not using a straw at restaurants, that's great. Number 4 is to focus on the positive. Instead of focusing on how you're hurting the environment and what you're not doing to help the environment, focus on how you're helping the environment and the things that you do, because that is what matters. Give yourself a pat on the back that you brought your coffee thermos to the coffee shop one day, and not bring yourself down the day that you don't. Just try and focus on the positive and what you are doing to help, and that really will encourage you and keep you hopeful and positive. And lastly, if you feel like you don't have a lot of time or energy to put into helping the environment, focus on the thing that will make the largest impact. And oftentimes that is spreading awareness, talking to people, or taking some political action, sending congressmen and women letters, signing petitions, going to peaceful protests. If you do something that makes a big impact, then it will make you feel really good, and all the little things in your day-to-day life won't make you feel as guilty. So I hope this video was helpful. Just know that if you even have a tiny bit of environmental guilt, that means you're doing something right, and that means you care. And don't beat yourself up. Do what you can. And with that, I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.